For privacy reasons, names and places have been changed. This story is inspired by true events.
On the morning of July 2nd, 1937, 39-year-old Amelia Earhart, the world's most celebrated aviator, made her final garbled radio transmission from her Lockheed Electra, somewhere over the treacherous Central Pacific. She never arrived at her destination. Despite an unprecedented desperate air and sea search covering thousands of desolate miles, Earhart and her navigator, Fred Noonan, vanished without a trace. Their plane was seemingly swallowed whole by the immense, unforgiving ocean. For 88 agonizing years, the world lived with profound uncertainty, a monumental mystery echoing through aviation history. Then, almost 9 decades later, on a tiny, remote coral atoll, a compelling discovery was made. This is the complete investigation into what happened to Amelia Earhart, and if the sea has finally given up her long-held secrets. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from. And if you enjoy this content, consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Now, let's continue. In the annals of aviation history, few figures shine as brightly or vanish as mysteriously as Amelia Earhart. By 1937, at 39 years old, she had already carved an indelible mark on the world, a pioneering aviator whose daring exploits captured global imagination. Her ultimate ambition, however, was a circumglobal flight, an audacious attempt to circumnavigate the Earth near the equator, pushing the boundaries of human endurance and technological capability. It was a journey fraught with peril, a testament to her unwavering spirit, which would ultimately lead to her enigmatic disappearance. The final, fateful segment of her journey began on July 6, 1937, from Lae, New Guinea, with her navigator, Fred Noonan. Their destination was Howland Island, a tiny speck of land in the vast, unforgiving Central Pacific. For hours, their Lockheed Electra 10E, a twin-engine monoplane, traversed the boundless ocean, a solitary metallic bird against an infinite blue. Radio transmissions, their only lifeline to the world, initially provided intermittent updates, confirming their progress and the immense challenges of navigating such a remote expanse. Then, the signals began to falter. What started as crackling interference devolved into a chilling radio fuzz, a chaotic symphony of static that swallowed voices and vital coordinates. Ground stations, straining to maintain contact, reported garbled messages, fragments of words swallowed by the Pacific's overwhelming silence. The last confirmed transmission from Earhart indicated she believed she was on course, but fuel was running low and the weather was closing in. Her voice, once clear and confident, became increasingly strained, then faded into an indistinguishable wash of white noise. No confirmed wreckage was ever located. No distress calls, beyond those final fragmented communications, ever led to a definitive location. The vastness of the Central Pacific, an area larger than the continental United States, became the stage for one of the 20th century's most enduring and perplexing mysteries. The ocean, indifferent and immense, simply swallowed the acclaimed aviator, her navigator and their aircraft, leaving behind only questions and an agonizing void. Following the abrupt cessation of radio contact, a desperate search operation was immediately launched, unprecedented in its scale for the era. The United States Navy and Coast Guard mobilized a formidable fleet, dispatching warships including the aircraft carrier USS Lexington and numerous smaller vessels to scour the vast expanse of the Central Pacific. Civilian ships operating in the area were also alerted, their crews instructed to keep a vigilant watch for any sign of the missing aircraft or its occupants. The urgency was palpable, fueled by the global celebrity of Amelia Earhart and the terrifying reality of 2 lives lost in an unforgiving ocean, their fate hanging in an agonizing balance. The sheer scale of the search area, however, presented an insurmountable challenge. Covering hundreds of thousands of square miles of open water, with only rudimentary aerial reconnaissance capabilities compared to modern standards, was akin to searching for a needle in an oceanic haystack. Navigation in 1937 relied heavily on celestial observations and dead reckoning, making precise plotting of potential crash sites incredibly difficult. Communication was limited, often relying on Morse code, further complicating coordination across such vast distances. Fuel limitations for search aircraft meant they could only cover a fraction of the suspected zone before needing to return to base, leaving vast swathes of ocean unchecked, often for days at a time. The remote coral atoll fringe, a labyrinth of low-lying islands and treacherous reefs scattered across the equatorial Pacific, offered a potential, albeit improbable, landing or crash site. Each tiny island represented a fleeting hope, yet the sheer number of them, often uninhabited and uncharted in detail, made systematic searching an impossible task for the technology of the time. Pilots flew grid patterns, their eyes straining against the glare of the sun on the water, searching for debris, an oil slick, or the distinctive yellow fuselage of the Lockheed Electra. But the ocean, immense and indifferent, yielded nothing. After weeks of exhaustive effort, consuming millions of dollars and countless man-hours, the operation was officially called off. No plane, no crew, no definitive clues were ever found. The profound failure of these initial monumental efforts left an agonizing void, a lack of resolution that would echo for decades, cementing the mystery rather than solving it. The Pacific had swallowed its secrets whole, and the world was left to wonder. The immediate failure of the 1937 search left an aching void, but it did not extinguish the world's fascination with Amelia Earhart. Instead, her disappearance ignited a relentless torrent of speculation and theory that would endure for generations. For 88 years, her fate remained one of the 20th century's most tantalizing unsolved mysteries, a narrative thread left abruptly severed, yet constantly re-examined by amateur sleuths, historians, and conspiracy theorists alike. Theories ranged wildly, from the plausible to the fantastical. Perhaps her Lockheed Electra simply ran out of fuel and plunged into the abyssal depths, its wreckage forever beyond reach. Others posited she and Fred Noonan made an emergency landing on an uncharted island, surviving for a time before succumbing to the harsh, isolated environment. More sensational narratives suggested capture by Japanese forces or even a clandestine mission orchestrated by the US government, its details buried for reasons unknown. Each theory, however, lacked the definitive, tangible proof required to move it beyond the realm of conjecture, leaving a frustrating and persistent ambiguity that only deepened with time. As the years turned into decades, Amelia Earhart's story transcended that of a pioneering aviator. Her vanishing act cemented her status as a global icon, a symbol of courage, ambition, and the ultimate unexplained frontier. Her image graced countless books, documentaries, and films, her legend growing larger with each passing generation, fueled by the very lack of resolution. The public's enduring fascination ensured her name remained etched in the collective consciousness, a testament to the power of an unsolved riddle. Yet despite the continued interest and periodic resurfacing of old theories, the case effectively went cold. Without concrete new evidence, the hope of a definitive answer waned. Investigations became historical footnotes rather than active pursuits. The vast Pacific, which had silently absorbed her and her aircraft, seemed determined to keep its counsel, guarding its secrets with an impenetrable silence. For nearly a century, the ocean held firm, its depths and shores revealing nothing, until a remote coral atoll would finally begin to whisper clues of its own. For nearly a century, the vast Pacific kept its counsel, its silent expanse holding the secrets of Amelia Earhart's final moments. But deep within its coral atoll fringe, on a remote, uninhabited island, that silence was about to be broken. The island, a mere speck on the map, battered by relentless trade winds and shaped by powerful currents, had long been a site of archaeological interest, though never linked to the Earhart mystery. Its ancient history, however, provided the backdrop for a discovery that would reverberate across the globe. In 2025, island archaeologist Hannah Tavita led a small, dedicated team conducting a routine survey of the island's windward side. Her work focused on understanding ancient Polynesian migration patterns, often sifting through layers of sand and coral for telltale fragments of human habitation. The area they were investigating lay just beyond a prominent storm berm, a natural ridge of accumulated debris pushed inland by powerful oceanic forces. It was a place where the ocean frequently deposited its offerings, both natural and man-made. On a blisteringly hot afternoon, as Tavita meticulously examined a section of exposed coral bedrock, her trained eye caught an unusual glint. Partially buried beneath a thin layer of sand and coral detritus lay a small curved piece of glass, its edges smoothed by decades of erosion. Further careful excavation revealed it to be a shard of a compact mirror, its reflective surface long faded but unmistakably artificial. Nearby, nestled amongst the coral rubble, were several small metallic rivet fragments. These were not the crude, hand-forged objects of ancient islanders. Their precise manufacturing suggested a much more recent industrial origin. Hannah Tavita, a seasoned professional, felt an immediate jolt of recognition and a surge of adrenaline. These items, so out of place on an ancient Polynesian site, instantly posed profound questions. How had a compact mirror and modern rivets come to rest on such a remote, uninhabited island, hundreds of miles from any established shipping lanes or human settlement? Their location near the storm berm suggested they had been washed ashore, perhaps from a distant wreck. The initial excitement was tempered by the immense responsibility of the find. These small, delicate pieces of metal and glass, weathered by time and the elements, held the potential to be more than just curiosities. They could be monumental, a tangible link to one of history's most enduring enigmas, a faint whisper from the past, finally breaking the long silence. The implications of Hannah Tavita's discovery were immediately apparent, transforming a routine archaeological survey into the focal point of a renewed global investigation. The compact mirror shard and the metallic rivet fragments, unearthed on the remote coral atoll, presented the first tangible clues in a mystery that had defied resolution for 88 years. To verify the provenance of these enigmatic fragments, a specialized investigative team was quickly assembled, bringing together diverse expertise to address the profound questions they raised. Dr. Owen Pierce, a materials engineer renowned for his expertise in historical metallurgy and forensic analysis, was tasked with the meticulous examination of the rivet fragments. His laboratory, equipped with advanced spectroscopic and microscopic instruments, became a sterile sanctuary where the small corroded pieces were subjected to an array of non-invasive tests. Pierce's role was critical to determine the exact composition, manufacturing method, and potential age of the metals, searching for any distinctive characteristics that might link them to a specific period or, more significantly, to a particular aircraft. Concurrently, Navigator Liaison Mac Sullivan joined the effort, his role to provide crucial contextual expertise. Sullivan's understanding of historical aviation, prevailing ocean currents, and potential drift patterns was vital. He began reconstructing possible scenarios, analyzing how items from an aircraft might have come to rest on this specific windward spit, considering factors such as prevailing winds, storm surges, and the known flight path of Earhart's Lockheed Electra. His work aimed to establish a plausible trajectory for the artifacts, should they prove to be related to the lost aviator. The initial analysis was a painstaking process of elimination and detailed observation. Every scratch, every layer of oxidation, every minute detail on the mirror shard and the rivets was scrutinized under high magnification microscopes. The team sought answers to fundamental questions. Were these items indeed man-made? What was their exact age? Could their composition or design offer any unique identifiers that would set them apart from common debris? The delicate balance of hope and skepticism permeated the investigation. While the potential was immense, the team understood the necessity of absolute scientific rigor. The weight of 88 years of unresolved history rested on these fragile clues, transforming a remote island discovery into a global scientific endeavor, balanced precariously between profound hope and the ever-present shadow of false leads. The scientific meticulousness applied to the corroded fragments in Dr. Owen Pierce's laboratory ultimately yielded the breakthrough the world had awaited for nearly a century. After weeks of painstaking analysis, examining the metallic composition and structural integrity of the rivet fragments, Pierce made a critical observation. Under electron microscopes, the unique pattern of the rivet heads and their specific alloy composition did not align with standard aircraft manufacturing of the 1930s. Instead, they bore the hallmarks of a specific, non-standard repair. This anomaly proved to be the pivotal clue. Historical records, meticulously cross-referenced by navigator liaison Max Sullivan, detailed an unusual repair undertaken on Amelia Earhart's Lockheed Electra 10E during a layover in Miami, Florida, prior to her circumglobal attempt. During this repair, a section of the aircraft's fuselage had been reinforced with replacement rivets, utilizing a distinct, somewhat improvised pattern and a particular alloy available at that specific repair facility. Pierce's metallurgical findings precisely matched the documented characteristics of this Miami repair. The rivets found on the remote atoll were not generic debris. They were unequivocally tied to Amelia Earhart's lost aircraft. Concurrently, Hannah Tavita's archaeological expertise provided a crucial piece of the puzzle, explaining why these items had remained hidden for so long despite previous, albeit less focused, searches. Observing the island's dynamic environment, Tavita noted the pervasive activity of land crabs. These creatures, ubiquitous across the coral atoll, constantly burrow and unearth small objects, dispersing them over time and burying them anew in different locations. This phenomenon, known as crab burrow dispersal, meant that smaller artifacts, even if washed ashore and initially visible, would quickly be churned into the sand and coral, becoming almost impossible to detect during superficial surveys. Earlier expeditions, lacking the detailed archaeological methodology and specific focus on such minute fragments, would have easily overlooked these scattered clues. The combination of Pierce's definitive metallurgical match and Tavita's environmental insight created a powerful synergy. The scattered nature of the finds, once a perplexing detail, was now understood. This dual revelation transformed the investigation, providing both irrefutable proof of provenance and a clear explanation for the delay in discovery. It led to a renewed laser-focused effort on a single windward spit of the remote island, the precise area where the currents and crab activity converged to preserve and then finally reveal the long-lost evidence. The 88-year-old mystery, once an impenetrable wall of silence, had finally yielded its first irrefutable truth. The definitive match of the rivet fragments to Amelia Earhart's Lockheed Electra, combined with the compelling explanation for their long concealment, sent a seismic shock through the world of historical investigation. This was not merely a strong correlation, it was irrefutable proof, a tangible thread connecting the present to a moment lost in time. For 88 years, the narrative had been one of utter disappearance, a plane and its crew swallowed by the Pacific without a trace, leaving only an agonizing void. Now, a new, tragic narrative began to emerge, one of a plausible, if devastating, landing or crash on a remote island, her final moments perhaps spent on the very shores where these fragments lay buried. The implications were profound, rewriting a chapter of history previously marked by speculation and silence. The discovery provided a tangible, if heartbreaking, resolution to one of the 20th century's most enduring mysteries. The artifacts, small and corroded as they were, offered a final, poignant testament to the aviator's desperate struggle and ultimate fate. It was a form of closure, not in the sense of a happy ending, but in the quiet dignity of knowing, finally, what became of Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan. The relentless ocean had at last yielded a piece of its secret, offering a measure of peace after decades of uncertainty. Amelia Earhart, whose life was a testament to human ambition and the relentless pursuit of the impossible, continued to inspire even in the revelation of her final moments. Her enduring spirit, her courage in the face of the unknown, resonated anew with this discovery. The secrets of her vanishing, once thought lost forever, were finally brought to light from the most unlikely of places, a remote coral atoll, its shores silently holding the truth for nearly a century. This monumental breakthrough underscored the immense contribution of modern scientific analysis and the tireless dedication of individuals like Hannah Tavita, Dr. Owen Pierce, and Max Sullivan. It demonstrated that even the most persistent riddles of history can, with patience and ingenuity, finally be solved, offering a compelling testament to the power of human perseverance against the vastness of time and the elements.